For this blog this week, I finished the leadership questionnaire. I found that I was high in the administrative portion. The second high score I had was in interpersonal skills. There was just a 2 point difference between the two. The administrative was more of the paperwork aspect, the actual management of the people themselves, and how to coordinate, I guess, our workforce and like the paperwork behind it. Interpersonal dealt with more of like the emotional aspect of it, being able to sense the undertones of the group, and being able to think ahead of time to know like who might be supportive of an idea or not. And that was really insightful. I thought was that way already. I do like the paperwork aspect of things, but I do have a good strong foundation with the emotional, the more the people aspect of management as well. Um, how I would function as a manager and as a leader in the organizational structure while using the model of care. In my work or my practice experience, we have the pyramid or the bureaucratic model of leadership, where all the nursing staff is the bottom portion of the pyramid, and above us is each individual unit manager. They have their own section of nurses, but that's the next level, going up to our director of nursing and assistant director of nursing. If I was a manager on my unit, I would function, I suppose, like they are. They do have their own work to do, but they are in charge of each of us nurses as well. And I think learning about the administration, being high in that area, I would be good with the paperwork aspect, but I have very good people skills as well that would benefit in that model as well. Um, what skills would I use to secure resources for such as staff? At my facility, um, staff's not really an issue. Like as a manager there, we would not deal with that. It'd be more maintaining staff or the various resources like medication or paperwork or whatever. With the administrative portion, I would just be able to know ahead of time like what forms we might need, what sort of medications or whatever, just based on the daily runnings of the unit. And I'd be able to pull from other staff members or even ask other managers how they run their units. And that would deal more with the interpersonal side, being able to outsource for things as needed from different sources and use more of the manager base. And then if I needed more additional help, maybe go a step higher in the pyramid setup and go to the either assistant director of nursing or director of nursing as needed. How would I use the published literature in the process? The literature I found was dealt with more of what the organizational model setup is and explain them a little better, kind of going more with what the book told us about them. I would just use the published literature as as a source of information. I would try to see how our organizational model works, learn more about the weaknesses and strengths, and see what I can do to help with both of those to make my unit a better unit, or even just the whole facility being able to work my section well, so maybe it'll motivate other managers or even the higher levels of the care team. The levels and departments I would need to work with in order to be effective in a leadership role. Currently, where I work at, the levels would probably mostly be the nursing, which would be the bottom level in our care, and then the other managers. If I was the manager or the leader, just dealing with nursing staff, being able to ask them and what they wanted from me, sorry, and what they need as far as any resources or what they want me to help them with in general, whether it's their hands-on nursing care or more of the behind-the-scenes stuff, the day-to-day runnings. Um, and then with the managers, I would just have them as a group of peers, being a source to turn to if I needed help. And those would be the two departments I would work with directly to be effective in my role. Indirectly might be my director of nursing or assistant director of nursing. They definitely help with our managers. They're there if they need questions that are beyond their scope or beyond what they could answer immediately. But they're not always available at all hours, or they're not always there at the facility. So it'd be hard to depend on them on a daily basis. I would probably refer more to um, my other managers at the facility. If I had a preference on a type of structure I would prefer, I after reading the about the different structures, I really thought the horizontal was interesting because I've never worked in a facility or I've never encountered that since nursing school to my first job, anything like that per se. Um, it just less rigid. It has more opportunity for you to be more flexible in your position. I mean, you have a job description, you're supposed to do that day to day, but it leaves more to interpretation for the nurse or whoever is in charge to make sure that you've done your job for the day. And I think that would be interesting to see how that would work. Because I do not like the tall or like the bureaucratic method or pyramid bureaucracy style that we have at our facility. I think there's just a lot of not, it doesn't feel together as well. I mean, yeah, you can refer to people higher up to you, but there's just not that connection between the lower level to the upper level management. Um, like most of the nursing staffs don't really interact with the assistant director of nursing, but with the horizontal method, you have a supervisor, but they're just not there, on the unit watching over you. Whereas with our style at work, our unit managers like right in the middle of things, watching us all throughout the day. And that's good and bad for multiple reasons. I wish it was more of a separation just because it feels like you're just being watched over or they're looking for an issue with you versus, yeah, I can go refer to my nurse manager or leader if I needed help, but she's not going to be searching for problems or critiquing my work. And I will attach my reference to my post. Thank you.